Wiener.
That's how Dave says hi now. I think he's going to forget that he's only supposed to do it for, like, wiener-related calls, and I think he's going to do it on business calls. We're going to have a call with, like, the IRS or, like, a tax agent or, like, the cops. The FBI is going to come. Dave's going to yell that at him. Wiener!
Both gladiators in room 1 of depth 1, and we see On the Loose with a machine gun versus OverpowderedLOL with a spear.
Toss on a quick refresh on the loose just to pull them up to date so you're not in the future. There we go.
I'm going to do the same, so you call the action.
Alright, so indeed, like you said, On the Loose getting that machine gun to start. Galkaif was a big fan, I know, last time we watched him play in round 1, saying that the machine gun was a big key to success. Those projectile weapons, trying to reduce how much you move around. I think On the Loose, if not channeling that specific advice, sharing the same opinion for now, trying to shy away from those swords and stick to the machine guns.
See both guys with machine guns? And they, okay, so, OverpowderedLOL has gone with the full runtime in his tab, so that's going to be the case forever, and On the Loose actually is not displaying his room, so we're going to actually have to count, okay, cool. Count these rooms a bit. I think that On the Loose is actually ahead by 1 room at this point.
I'm going to drop OP just a little note that says, if you want to show your room number, it makes it easier to compare. You see how that turned to radio voice halfway through? I'm a radio expert. This is basically radio, right? My voice is visible.
It's radio with pictures.
Radio with pictures? That sounds like some kind of TV.
Overpowdered with those chainsaw skills.
Ooh, On the Loose getting an early berserker room.
Nice.
Cleaving through
Although he's got the bow in hand, and I'm pretty sure that's not his favorite.
You know, I've grown to love it. No, I've been amping up my playing for the last week, getting ready for that DLC, and especially on normal mode where you can one-shot enemies with it. I am a fan of the bow. It's one of the harder to target projectile weapons, but given that it pierces in one-shots, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I wouldn't normally kick a bow out of bed, but during a speed run, I would probably leave it by the wayside in favor of a weapon that I don't have to aim so.
I'm going to call out. OP is probably about to call someone out, but he just got a $59 donation from Dr. Soul.
Wow, that's awesome.
Awesome for that. That is the dope-ass freshness right there.
Yes.
Like, he just got paid for his wiener.
Yeah, he's picking up
Tell me I'm wrong.
donations in the stream. Double goop rune. Everyone loves the double goop rune in normal runs and speed runs.
Double goop is the favorite rune of most of our competitors.
You know, for as much as it gets bemoaned and complained about in speed running, double goop rune pretty exciting in survival mode because it keeps my combo up.
Yes, in survival mode, in hardcore mode too. The double goop rune can mean that I've got a full extra half level, 2/3 of a level that I might not otherwise have had, which can mean a huge amount of damage output.
On the Loose is just about to hit the checkpoint room.
Yeah, it's going to be a race to the checkpoint room right now. I believe they're just a few seconds apart, really.
So again, just to compare styles and strategies, OverpowderedLOL, I've said before, he's sort of my dark horse. I don't know why. I don't have actual evidence that supports this theory, but I think it's possible for him to win this whole thing. They're neck and neck right now. They're milliseconds apart.
But
his style is, he's just got this golden boy style. He shows up, he does not practice. As you heard, we were saying in the beginning of the broadcast, like, did you get the update? Whereas On the Loose got the update yesterday. He's been practicing, and he also has cyborg fingers, which help him a lot. It's a great benefit to him that he can press the button faster than anyone else. And
totally
actually there it hurt him
boss room
because he pressed the button so fast that he hit the checkpoint. Overpowder pulls ahead slightly.
Oh man, no, I don't know if you can say that anyone has a lead right now. This is one of the closest depth ones I think we've ever seen.
Well, it's definitely.
Would you say it's a 1/1000 spread?
No, we're about 4 seconds.
OP getting a new PB and On the Loose getting a new PB.
Wow, those are really good times.
Yes, those are extremely good times.
Both competitors have come to play today. They are not messing around.
And so you were mentioning, OP, Overpowdered, being one of your Dark Horse competitors, but it's worth saying, On the Loose improved all of his times considerably this week, made giant strides in terms of all of his personal best, climbed up and took over a couple leaderboards into the top couple places.
Oh, absolutely. It would make sense for On the Loose to beat Overpowdered. That's what I mean by dark horse is a a contestant who, by all rights, really just shouldn't win, but it's still somehow possible for them to win.
Most people don't know this, but On the Loose is actually powered by Saiyan blood, and every time he's defeated in combat, he gets at least twice as strong over again.
Is
So,
that true?
if it's double elimination, I'd say it's in his best interest to win today. But if he doesn't, I'd say everyone look out.
So it actually is in his best interest to win today, even if he were a Saiyan and were able to get powers from losing. Whoever loses today is out of the tournament.
I mean,
This is their last chance for both guys.
that's true. I mean, but I feel like you're ignoring the fact that if his power doubles, and right now his power is a 4,501, we've got to look out for that new power level.
Yeah. Well, Overpowdered has to look out for it.
I think it's happening right now.
Either way, we win because we get to watch great guys do great stuff.
Indeed. Chat, I'm intrigued. I've heard a lot of D2 is rune-based, Depth 2 is crapshoot. Give me your thoughts. I'm wondering what makes it different from the other depths, genuinely. What do you think, Dave?
Uh, Depth 2 is a crapshoot versus what is rune based exactly?
I've heard a lot of chat about, Depth 2 being a little bit more luck-based or a little bit more rune drop-based, and I'm wondering what makes it, in people's opinion, different from the other depths.
I honestly couldn't say. For me, the whole thing is just like skill based. Like for me, I just don't take hits. But that they're talking about, and I have to get myself out of this mindset while we're talking about speedruns. They are talking about 4 speedruns. So I don't know if when they say it's luck, that D2 is luck based. Maybe it's that the rooms are certain rooms will slow you down, and not getting those rooms is better.
Oh, interesting. I mean, it depends how well you can deal with lions. I can give some tips on the lions that they're a little more predictable than you think. So, first off, that I imagine it's that big old tumble jump that makes them a little bit harder to track down. A couple things you can do about that is, first off, they'll only jump away if you get close enough. So if you have a machine gun or pine cones or any kind of projectile weapon, you can stop them from jumping just by not approaching and shooting them down from a distance. But beyond that, you can actually predict the jump somewhat. They're always going to jump kind of perpendicular to you. So if they're on your left, they'll jump to your top or bottom. If they're on your bottom, they'll jump to your left or right. They're always going to try to mix you up, but they'll always mix you up that way. And so they'll never try to jump out of bounds. So, for example, On the Loose right now, fighting a lion at the top of the screen, if he approaches it from the side, you can know for a fact it's going to jump downward. If there's a lion on the bottom of the screen and you approach it, you know it's going to jump upward because there's no room to jump downward and so forth. So knowing how to predict those lion jumps actually means you can usually intercept them before they even strike, especially with a weapon like chainsaw or the whip or the bow staff, something where you can just quickly knock them down.
Jamie Antics also saying that D2 is luck based, whereas Depth 3 just makes him mad.
Mm-hmm. But most of our competitors, as I've found, are driven by rage. Deep-seated rage and hate. I don't think that's true. That's not true.
Overpowdered cleared the checkpoint room first. He's actually in the lead right now.
One room ahead.
7 seconds. And I also saw On the Loose paused momentarily. I'm not exactly sure if he meant to do that. Again, it could be those ultra-fast robot fingers.
I'm gonna say it was a taunt. It was like pushing both his hard punch and hard kick at the same time. I could quietly hear the "Show me your moves." That was a mixed metaphor of video games.
Yalkif is saying that the tubas make all the difference in depth.
Yeah,
I tend to agree.
Tubas
if you can get all tubas in depth too, you go a lot faster. Which is On the Loose is proving that right now. It's just mowing through some enemies with the tuba. He's single tapping On the Loose. Each enemy with the spear is dying in 1 hit, which means his level is totally where it should be.
I'm inventing new words as I type to competitors and just butcher the English language. Just typoing like a madman.
All you're doing is taunting now, Overpowdered. It says do, like D-O-U, mind,
It's
double
Dow.
tapping tab.
Dow mind.
That's not all you're going to do is confuse him.
I'm accusing him of being a dark elf. He's got drow mind.
It's fine. I say we just don't talk to him anymore.
Let's never talk again.
Let's we can talk to each other. I don't want to interfere with the competition though. They're very close at this point.
Whew.
On the Loose with the tuba skills, clearing the room, he is probably going to catch up to OP doing that.
Sure. So, Dave, who's our second matchup for today?
Second matchup today is at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's Swiftmo versus Imagine 42.
How do you expect that matchup to compare to the one we're watching right now?
You know, Swiftmo is... his spirit is a little bit... I'm not going to say it's broken, but he's a little sad-faced because he did not kill Billiam in his first run. He's a little bit dejected about that, though he is able to reliably kill Billiam now.
I've seen the kill since.
And though he does not think he's going to win, I think he has a shot.
I think so.
But Imagine 42 probably the favorite for that match. In fact, this whole tournament came about in part because of Imagine 42 and his love of tournaments. He was one of the first people to really ask for us to do this and want one.
Yeah, it's kind of where survival mode came from too. Just people saying that that's something they wanted to play and try.
Oh, we're on the boss. Overpowdered melting the boss.
Oh yeah, that holy water just making the boss take a nap.
That was an impressive boss kill. It's actually... that gave him a pretty good lead at this point.
Yep. OnTheLuce entering the boss room right now. We didn't even notice, but yeah, we saw a full room reversal across the length of depth 2. Ending depth 1, OnTheLuce had a very slight lead. It looked like for a while he might have been one room ahead, but now Overpowdered definitely taking maybe a half room lead.
Not to be outdone, OnTheLuce just destroyed the boss, opening with the 2 Kraken shots, which were right on the money, and then he finished him with a single whip.
Got him right in the money. I saw it.
Sure.
Some chat cheering, "Go Luce!"
Go Luce indeed. It is anyone's game at this point. They're in the same room. Overpowdered does have the lead slightly at this point. But yeah, they're in the same room.
Who are the people who wanted jinxes? Estoppel says, names and addresses, please. A lot of the jinxes are based on people... 2 things. One, we were watching people stream, and like in their early moments, or especially from conventions we brought the game to, people would have like a misunderstanding about how the game might work. And sometimes that meant nothing, but sometimes it was like, but that might be fun if it did sometimes work that way. And then other times it was just people really offhanded. I wouldn't say that anybody explicitly, like survival mode, asked for it. Like survival mode people asked for it. But the jinxes, it was more like people kind of going like, quietly, like during a stream, it would be cool if something. And every so often be like, it would be cool if something. Let's do something.
Yeah, definitely Stack Overflow was born out of... I think it was someone at a convention who...
It was somebody kind of misunderstanding. And I think what they asked was, if I pick up the same weapon again, not does it get stronger, but like, does it refill? Right. And I think our answer was like, no, you pick up a new one. Well, I guess that's the same thing. Maybe there should be an effect. So it wasn't like quite a direct ask. It was just kind of sort of accidental.
So we see Overpowdered using some projectile strategies in this room. He's actually sticking towards the middle of the room, or he was, and taking out enemies without kind of moving a lot. I wonder if that's something he picked up from watching the Galkaif match, or if he's just doing it naturally.
I think it was just born of his natural champion skill.
It's missing a bit, though, with the Banshee head.
Yeah, that was an unlucky draw there.
OnTheLuce is rocking the boomerang right now. Likewise, not straying too far from the middle. No, he is. He's for some reason with a projectile weapon, he's actually hunting enemies down. Maybe he's going for that yo-yo and then changed his mind.
You know, for the boomerang, I think it's all right to hunt guys down. Ideally, you want to bounce off the wall with the boomerang as quickly as you can, so that it's on his way back as quickly as you can.
Yeah,
those
that's a good
long
point.
across the room shots, they tend to eat a lot of time that you could be hurting enemies. And of course, like a well-placed stance can mean that return shot hits your enemies, but it's a lot easier to just be able to throw it again.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Actually, I do think, I don't know if it was OnTheLuce or if it was Imagine, but somebody was saying yesterday that that is the best way to use a boomerang. I still think of it as a projectile, but you guys are totally right. If I want it back faster, I should walk into it.
I mean, it's not necessarily strictly more DPS, but I'd say it's more controllable DPS.
Yeah.
The more often you can throw, the more often you can be sure you're hitting your target.
I guess I prefer the piercing nature of the boomerang. I like to take out rows of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Overpowdered's health. It's actually becoming an issue right now.
Yeah, I've said before, for me, 2 or 3 hearts, that's when I start to really pay attention. I think you're right. I think right now Overpowdered has the distance advantage, but it might be that he's letting himself get attacked a little bit more than usual to get that speed boost. You could argue that that's super on purpose. It's just something he's going to have to bear in mind and make sure that it it never becomes a point that slows him down. Let
Yeah.
alone kills him. Those 2 hearts going to make a big difference to come back on that, of course.
Definitely.
2 hearts
You can
he just
see
got.
when he has the Morningstar, his motions indicate that he knows how to not get hit with it, but he is shaving off just like microseconds by just taking hits.
Sure.
He's barreling into guys where he really does not have to.
Is he barreling into the barrels?
Probably not specifically the barrels. OnTheLuce is in the checkpoint room now. I don't think I've seen Overpowdered at a checkpoint. I think OnTheLuce may have actually pulled ahead.
Yeah, OnTheLuce, or rather, Overpowdered, being coy about his room number, electing not to show it.
It's not on purpose. I think it's just...
Nope. We are in the same room.
Yeah, but OnTheLuce got here first, so
He did.
he's actually pulled ahead slightly of Overpowdered,
Just a wee bit.
just a wee bit. But
This
this depth actually started with OnTheLuce behind, so it's a bit of a comeback. It's too soon to say.
Sure, don't call it a comeback. He was always there.
What I will call it is the closest match we've had so far. I think at this point,
That could well be.
usually when we're at this point in OnTheLuce still ahead. In depth 3, it's like someone is a room ahead or 2 rooms ahead.
Sure.
But they are, for the most part, in the same room.
I will say,
Overpowered's catching up now.
that is the beauty of a tournament structure like we have. We use the leaderboard as an original seeding for the tournament to ensure that we paired, kind of the leaderboard favorite to the leaderboard underdog, and so forth, onward to the middle. What that means is, as the race goes on, we're going to see closer and closer matchups, in theory, but of course, across the course of the tournament, we've seen people who originally had less intimidating leaderboard scores pull into some of the top scores as they played the game more in practice for the tournament. So those seeds, pretty loose to begin with, are now, I think, bringing everyone to a closer level, higher level in skill.
Definitely, and this is the not winners bracket. So when we get to the winners bracket tomorrow, I don't think it's possible for them to be much closer together than this, but they could very well be just neck and neck the entire time. That is why we asked at the start of the race for both competitors to show their full run time when it gets down to the final boss, because it might be a photo finish.
I thoroughly disagree with that premise.
Really?
But we can talk about... Yeah, we've disagreed about it before. I think the arbiter is what we see on screen.
Right, but if we see them... I'm talking about if they are... It's literally at the exact same time on our screens. It's going to come down to who's got the best overall time.
No, I mean, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
I strongly disagree. I think that muddies a decision which is otherwise very straightforward. But
you're the boss. So we have Puuba in a room full of barrel men. That's always a good thing. He's actually got multiple Puubas to choose from. But it's actually slower. It might be quicker to take the fight to the barrels. In fact, 2 people in barrel rooms. Sorry, I was looking at Overpowdered. OnTheLuce is still ahead.
oh man, so both opting to go with the pogo stick right now. The pogo stick grows on me more every time I use it.
They both have pogo sticks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Both having pogo sticks, both taking advantage at times of the fact that it can blow away those smoke clouds that the chimney sweeps are creating. I'll definitely, very often, on my way to a chimney sweep, I'll take that extra hop just to burn down its smoke so that I won't have to deal with it later. I'd much rather take that kind of quarter-second lag from jamming the stick down than I have to deal with it again. Same thing here on these satyrs. Definitely a priority for me generally, if I fight them with the pogo stick, is destroying their horns, because then they become harmless and I can reprioritize them however I need. But again, both of those being something that I'll only do if it's on my way. I won't go out of my way to de-arm a satyr. De-horn a satyr. Man, so we're seeing, just about a half room split still. Really close competition. Maybe less than a half room.
Crazy question. Did you play the music today?
I was before. I never resumed it after our cartoon, but shablam, now I did. Now the music is back on.
So they're both in the room before the boss. That is really exciting. Who
Yeah.
will make it to boss 3 first? Will it be OnTheLuce or will it be OverpowderedLOL? I honestly could not tell you.
On the loose with I bet you it's a 3 enemy kill advantage. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Yep.
Starting the boss
OnTheLuce
with a
picking up a
boomerang
yo-yo, heading
and
on
the
in.
fire circle.
What do you think is
Beautiful.
better here, the tuba or the fire circle?
Whatever OnTheLuce is doing is a good idea. He
I feel like
just
the fire
destroyed that
circle is the way
boss.
to go. For an enemy with a lot of hit points, like a boss, I will take the fire circle over the tuba, even though I will generally take the tuba.
Overpowdered is burning down the boss with a yo-yo, and it's not even 5 seconds behind OnTheLuce.
Yeah, imagine in chat commenting, OP had Pogo going into the boss, which can usually knock one down, and elects to go with the yo-yo instead as a last-minute decision.
You know, I think that sometimes we, when somebody has a really good run in our wiener tournament, it kind of it presents the illusion of best practice. But all that really means is that that's one really good way to do it.
Certainly true.
I don't think you have to have the pogo stick on boss 3. I wouldn't switch a pogo stick for a yo-yo, but maybe OP knows something. I don't know.
Wouldn't kick it out of bed.
Yeah. I wouldn't take it too bad either, though. Pogo sticks get pretty dirty, like on the underside from all the bouncing.
That's true, but that's how I like my inanimate objects in my bed. Dirty.
That is good to know.
Is that sexy? I feel like that's not sexy.
Imagine 42 in support of the yo-yo in chat.
Yep.
It's lucky to get spear in the first room of depth 4, as opposed to yo-yo. For my taste, I like to have a spear in that room. OP's actually using the punch gloves. Most people don't use them when they are powered up, but it's good to see.
Sure.
Wow, OnTheLuce with the. He's moving really quickly and just killing guys with a machine gun, not sparing one bullet.
Overpowdered also looking really smooth, moving in and out of yo-yo range from enemy to enemy, just kind of precisely counting their hit points and just moving away.
Do you think that's an instinct, or is he actually counting?
I think it's a growing instinct. I think between the health bar over the enemy's head and the consistency of the enemy's health, I think it's reasonably quick to figure out those paces.
So we have yo-yo versus unicorn horn. I'm gonna go with unicorn horn in this room.
Yep. Yeah, I go with unicorn horn almost every time. Whatever
Is that
happens
the
on
best weapon? Is there a better weapon than unicorn horn, like overall?
Well, I think there is. I think unicorn horn's DPS is actually just okay, but it lets me, like, the splash damage is a good trade. It means I don't have to aim too much, and I basically just hammer the shoot button for the entire room whenever I have it. I pay almost all my attention to dodging and just rough aiming.
Right.
I try not to move around too much at all. Unless I'm on hardcore, and then I do follow that rocket in to pick up the goop. I will run in behind it. But yeah, Overpowered here showing why sometimes Unicorn's not a great. It's one of the slower projectiles. It does speed up the longer it's out, but it is slower than most of the others, making the aim a little bit harder, and it can be one of the more frustrating weapons to miss because it doesn't fire the fastest.
Yeah, he's getting very close up with it. Is that, I guess for the purposes of accuracy. But there's so many of them around, it would be better to grab one and just spray the room and then grab another one.
Sure.
Got Fire Trail and Morning Star for OnTheLuce. It's kind of a devastating combo if you use it right.
What is your favorite combo right now? Mine has changed.
I want to say that it's still, for me, it's still Chainsaw and Fire Circle.
That's mine, Chainsaw Fire Circle.
What did it used to be for you?
Fire Trail I really like running around things with. So, you know, Ninja Staff, Fire Trail, anything that... I like the combination of Machine Gun, Fire Trail, both because they're both close range damage that stack really well, and also because that chainsaw lets me corral enemies and suction them in. And the two together means it's just really easy to pour out really high DPS. But the flip side, you have to run around a lot. You spend a lot of your time running to the enemies with that combination.
I was just watching OnTheLuce when he had the holy water. Throw the holy water down and then slap guys into it with a spear. It's pretty rewarding to see.
I've got a question for you. I'm going to be topical. You ready for it?
Okay.
Steam just announced that they are from now on going to be awarding refunds on request for any game for any reason, as long as you've played less than 2 hours of the game.
Yeah, I read that earlier, and
What do you think?
I'd rather not spread the word about it. It's so terrible.
Why is it terrible?
Why is it terrible?
Oh, I'm curious. I'm asking you because I figured it would be...
Because the flip side of it was that you can return any game that you've purchased within 14 days.
No, there used to be no
both.
formal return policy. You'd have to go to customer service. You'd have to go through a whole ordeal, and there's not really a hard-cut policy. Like, there's no refund button of any sort until today.
Yeah, you can either return it within 14 days, or if you've played it for less than 2 hours.
Right now is the policy.
With that button.
Which now exists, right.
Yes. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't like it because, I don't know, because for reasons that I don't want to say publicly, to be honest.
For dev reasons? I'm curious.
For reasons of piracy. For reasons of earnest products which are not using DRM because they don't want to inconvenience the users.
Yeah,
their product can be purchased momentarily and then pirated and then refunded.
Well,
so
they can be pirated. Our game costs $10. They can be pirated for $10, just the same.
Yeah, I don't know. You asked me, and I don't like it.
Right. Okay.
Bugs me.
I think I'm a fan. The only type of game I would fear for is games that are under 2 hours long, genuinely.
God, I didn't even think of
story-driven
that.
and experimental games that are genuinely less than 2 hours, and I don't see most people wanting to exploit anything. I think, we've talked about it before, but I think as long as the genuine consumer experience is better than the pirate experience, then I think generally people are willing to be honest. It's not everyone, and certainly people can't spend money on everything, but I think the reason MP3 piracy was huge in the 90s was that it was better than the retail experience. And once iTunes bridged that gap and made the genuine experience not feel awful, it wasn't the law that made people purchase. It was the fact that suddenly the paid version is not crappier than the free version, which should never be the case. But I feel like people aren't looking to rip anyone off. You'll see some exploiters, but I don't think it'll be a meaningful amount.
OnTheLuce's health is getting very low at this point. Quite low. Should he be worried?
4 hearts in depth 4. I wouldn't be worried yet, but I would stop leaving rooms without hearts. I would definitely make a habit of just picking up what I find. You know what? Now I might also stop running through bullets. You know me, sometimes I will run through an attack and take it if it speeds me up. But 4 hearts is maybe the starting point, 4 or 3, where I am going to spend just a bit more time paying attention to dodging. And now he's got 5 hearts. Just screw it. I'm going to do what I want.
Overpowdered again with the yo-yo. I've seen him use the yo-yo more than I've seen really anyone be using the yo-yo on speedruns. Seems to be his
I'll
favorite.
use whatever's in reach.
Well, yeah, me too. That's my point. He's going for yo-yos where other things were available. At the moment, it's just yo-yos. But yeah, not a fan of the Wyvern sticking with his yo-yo.
Sure. Some of chat agreeing that 2 hearts, that's more or less when they panic.
Wow, at 2 hearts, I feel like I've already lost.
No, that's 4 hits. That's a universe of hits. It's a babooniverse.
It's a 50-50 chance of that, though. I could take 4 hits all of a sudden.
All at once.
You never know, yeah. I like to bank... I only really feel comfortable when I have, 12 hearts.
You could take 4 hits back in time and find out that you've already died. But OnTheLuce so quickly, back and comfortable again. Like it never even happened.
Wow, did someone tell him, or it was he just happened to be low and it
String of
didn't matter?
hearts. I think it's also very within a competitor's ability, especially on normal mode, to, purposely or not pick up hearts. The hearts are reasonably available, and I think, often a competitor is just not picking them up for that speed benefit. And, once you decide to start picking them up, you can see a pretty quick swing.
It is hammer time for OnTheLuce, but not for too much longer.
I feel like it's possible OnTheLuce is starting to pull away just a little bit. I am curious as to see who gets the checkpoint first and by how much. It's hard to tell exactly what the gap might be right now. But I think in a room or two we're going to see a checkpoint. We're going to be able to determine that.
Well, for sure, OnTheLuce is 2 rooms away from the checkpoint.
Stopple says, the design on the Wyvern head is great, lowering the flame and all. Thank you. Thanks. That was sort of a little bit of a technical pain in the butt. It's like one of the only hitboxes that smoothly, mathematically changes over time. And it's like a weird little ice cream cone shape. So, yeah, that was fun.
And a lot went into the art, the decisions for the art on that, right? Like, didn't it go through a lot of rounds of...
Yeah, we were going to originally, like, do a fire loop sequence at a whole bunch of interim sizes and so forth, and in the end we ended up deciding to programmatically change the size of just a single full-size flame loop, and then also additionally do a like a smaller sputtering flame loop. So it's actually the whole thing's made up of obviously one in every facing direction, but one full-size loop and one kind of sputtering flame loop. But yeah, that was definitely one of the pain in the butt here. That and the Morning Star being an absolute pain in the butt weapon because, of course, for most of the weapons, when you turn left and right, we're flipping the graphics. But for the Morning Star, you don't want the direction of the Morning Star to flip. And so we ended up having to do, it's all frame-by-frame animation because there's nothing really tweenable about it. And it had to be done for all 4 directions. So the Morning Star for both the Valkyrie and the Hero also definitely a challenge.
Look at
both competitors in the checkpoint room.
At the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting that. I actually thought that OnTheLuce had pulled ahead more.
Thank you, Rogue Semex, saying Art has a unique style. He's a fan.
Thank you, sir. This is so close. It's crazy how close this still is.
Yeah. I'm liking somebody in OnTheLuce's chat asking if, as a weapon, he likes the Spyro head. I can see that.
To me, the Wyvern head still looks like the itchy and scratchy head. I forget which one's the cat.
I want to say Scratchy.
Overpowdered's on, and the boss first. He goes for the Tuuba strike, gets knocked away.
Overpowdered.
This is exactly what happened to him the other time.
Another swing. He was clearly halfway through this depth, not in the lead, and once again in the lead. I'm finding every boss is a swing in the opposite direction. This is amazing.
Took a ton of hits there, but Overpowdered gets the boss down first. OnTheLuce, so close behind.
Gotta be 10 seconds behind.
Oh, it's
Overpowdered with a PB.
Wow.
Overpowdered with a new PB. OnTheLuce is making a good time.
This is very close. Let's see what kind of rooms they get to compare. Overpowdered's I would say a very easy room if you do it the way he's doing it. With the fire circle on you, just go around and melee the guys.
I say we place a gentleman's wager on this match starting right now.
Man, I don't know if I can. Like, I have to say,
pick. Who's your guy?
I have to say Overpowdered just because I've been saying it consistently.
I'm gonna pick OnTheLuce. So that headband, the Ryu headband, I can see the Satsui no Hado flowing through him. I can see it filling him with strength.
Yeah, if I wasn't trying to be consistent, I would just say OnTheLuce because it's like a toss up. I can't tell.
Man, you're underestimating Ryu's headband and the effect it can have on a competitor.
I am also...
If he's not careful, he's going to be overwhelmed with the Dark Hado, and he's going to turn into a Kuma. Right now, he's riding the line. You can see the Ryu spirit in him, but at any moment, he could turn into either a Kuma or Evil Ryu.
Is this about tentacles?
This is about La Blue Girl?
Yeah. I'll say a combo that I'm not a fan of is trying to use the Morning Star against Chainsaw Guys.
No, I can go with that. They do make looping around them a little bit harder because they're all going to face away when they get hit.
Yeah. I think in that situation, I'm going to go with Chainsaw though. Overpowdered actually has a really interesting strategy with the chainsaw on Valkyries, which I've not seen anyone else do. He actually circles them in real time and changes his direction, which is I don't even think I can do that. OnTheLuce getting the chainsaw to clear that room and using it to destroy a fairy table. Why is there a fairy table in Hell, Danny?
Okay, so what you gotta understand about Hell is Hell hates pretty and good things, right? So a fairy was, reckless enough to venture close to the dungeon at Hellside, snatched up right out of thin air. That fairy's family is looking for it. It's got brothers and presumably hundreds of brothers and sisters. I think that's how fairy families work. They're like rabbits. And by freeing that fairy, you're doing an extremely good deed, which is out of character for Doug McGrave, knowing that he's not going to get paid for that. I think it's kind of a collateral, accidental good deed.
When I was a little kid, someone said the phrase, like rabbits, to me, and I asked my mom what it meant, and she said, oh, rabbits poop a lot. And
oh man,
that's
they're
a good
in love
cover.
like rabbits. They're just pooping back and forth forever.
That's a good cover, but later, when I was a little bit older, somebody taught me the F word, but they didn't know what it meant.
Right.
And
wait, then what did they teach you?
They just said it's something that rabbits do, and I said, oh, I know it. I know what this is.
It means poop.
So I went around using the F word, thinking that it meant rabbit poop.
Specifically rabbit poop.
Turns out it means something way
what
better.
What does it mean when a human F's? A human rabbit poops? Does it mean like that they like rapid fire machine gun out like tiny little poops like from a Tommy gun?
I mean, any expletive seems a little bit odd when I didn't think about it as if it was literal. I just thought, the same way that people exclaim the S word, I don't think they're actually doing that.
Sausage. You mean sausage?
Yeah.
Imagine saying he thinks that the fairy was murdered.
Well, it was alive in the jar.
It was certainly alive at one point.
So it might have been chainsawed to death.
Do you think it's interesting that the demons clearly made sure to poke holes in the top of the jar for the fairy? That seems a little bit generous of them. They didn't have to do that.
I'm just gonna be honest. I never saw the holes.
Well, but the fairy's breathing.
Whoa! It's a disco party for On the Loose. Yeah, exactly. Imagine says the fairy was murdered by Doug. Because essentially, no, it was set free. The fairy just left.
He went home.
Yeah.
He or she went home.
It went up to the previous floor. Probably got captured again.
It's not just rapid fire poop, Jamie. It's rabbit fire poop. I think you've heard the term wrong your whole life. It's rabbit fire. Like when you hear like a rabbit fire machine gun, it's rabbit fire.
Someone came into Overpowdered stream and said hi.
I saw that.
And another person in his stream said, shh. That can't be good for its regular crowd.
Just getting hushed.
Shut up.
We are a welcoming community who invites people of all creeds, colors, and sizes. Also, shh. It's a library in here.
Estoppel asks, is that an option? Loose has room time and OP has full runtime going. It's an option in that we are unable to communicate with them.
Well,
if it's an option in game,
then yes.
Yeah, press tab twice to see the different timers.
Press tab once to see your depth time and the second time to see your full runtime. Yeah, that is in anybody's build and control. It's a secret little pro tool we built in there. Tab once for your depth time, tab twice for your runtime, and you can just rotate between all three modes. I have a strategic question for you, Dave.
Okay.
When your Kleenex is overly full of boogies, what do you do?
Flip it over.
Flip it over?
Yeah.
What about when the backside is full of boogies?
Socks. Oh, you don't wear socks.
I sometimes wear socks.
You're not wearing socks today. There's no chance
you're not here.
A shirt, probably. Do you have a shirt on?
I've got two shirts on. One of them's yours.
That means he has no shirt.
I'm wearing
or
a shirt.
Socks.
You saw me on cam.
Overpowdered first to the checkpoint.
Ooh, first checkpoint. Halfway through depth 5. We're coming into the final stretch, really. This has been a fast race.
Yes.
This has been quite a fast race. I feel like our races are getting faster run by run.
In fact, they are. But especially after today's update, I would say that overall in a run, every competitor is going to be about 30 seconds faster. Just because Doug corners faster. Well, if you're cornering constantly for 43 minutes, then if you increase the rate at which accelerate and decelerate, you're shaving milliseconds off of each acceleration and deceleration, so you're going to shave off almost 30 seconds after that.
So you're saying the fastest way to complete this game is to do nothing but cornering, to just spin in place for the entire 40-minute run?
No, you have to also kill stuff.
No. I'm going to take advantage of this patch. I'm going to spin in place. I'm going to twirl until I'm dizzy.
It's multiple things.
Twirling toward freedom. Finally, we're seeing some whip action. That makes me happy. I miss whip action when we go too long without it.
You know, early on in the careers of some of these gladiators, there were a lot of fans of the whip, like strict. In fact, Elric is one of these. He only would use the whip. He would actually do full runs, where, for the most part, especially on the demo, he would only use the whip or whatever helped him get a whip faster again. And as they've gotten more serious, I see a lot less whipping for some reason.
I'm making a challenge to chat right now. Chat, this race is so close, you gotta pick a winner. We're seeing less than a room gap between them right now. It is still anyone's race. Anybody in chat has to place their vote right now on a winner. You got to pick someone to back. The only way to lose is not to play. Or to lose.
That's the only way to lose is to lose.
So Overpowdered right now playing a room that has been modified in today's patch. A lot of competitors, myself included, were not a fan of the Chimney Sweep and Cerberus room. A lot of AoE attacks that fill a lot of space without a lot of opportunities for Doug to safely attack from a distance. So we actually added Gangsters to that room to ease it up a little bit. So both competitors actually opting to go with that machine gun for at least a little while in the room. And I would say probably, by and large, making shorter work of the room because of it.
Watching some interesting pogo work for OnTheLuce. He was trying to navigate the hole in the center of the room and get shots in with his pogo stick. I think he did a pretty good job. Overpowdered is, I would say, very lucky to have the all tubas room.
There's no luck. He sang the song in the right key, and then the game heard.
I would love an all tubas room on a speedrun.
Tuba, and then you get tubas. That's just how that works.
That song you just sang caused me to poop in my pants.
It's the brown note song. All notes are brown if you sing them right.
It's Overpowdered with the bellows versus the jesters, as opposed to using the pogo stick on the jesters. I think that's a good choice. I think I probably would go bellows too.
OnTheLuce going the other way, using a pogo stick against these swordsmen and these krakens. I will happily take pogo stick against a kraken. Don't have to worry about their, difficult to dodge 8-way shot. You can just explode all the bullets.
I'm gonna say secret to Kraken room is kill the Krakens very fast. I know that sounds stupid, but as soon as you get a single Kraken head, start spamming it because you will get more. So don't hang on to a Kraken head in the Kraken room.
I'm gonna say thank you, chat. I also enjoyed #Dave's Butt Day. That was yesterday. I think we should make it not a weekly, but a bi-monthly holiday. Dave has no opinion because he is immediately grumpy about the mention of his butt.
Overpowdered has pulled ahead again. He is in room 14, going on 15. He's actually ahead of OnTheLuce at this point.
Oh man, Overpowdered getting that Fallout Zone hype behind him.
What does that mean? Did he get a tweet?
he's getting chat talking. That Fallout Zone hype.
Oh,
Elric.
Elric M, who's also a member of the Fallout Zone. OP and Elric are on a Twitch streamer collective called the Fallout Zone.
We have about 5 rooms to go until we've got a winner for the day. Remember, what's on the line here today is one of these competitors will be eliminated from the tournament, and the other one is still going to be on the line to potentially win the entire thing.
What happens to the person who does not win in the other winner's bracket? Like, where do they go afterwards? Is there a bracket that they can go hang out in?
So what happens to the people in the winner's bracket who lose their first match?
The people in the other winner's bracket. We're watching the other winner's bracket.
The other winner's bracket, right. The politically correct other winner's bracket.
I'm just being dumb. When they lose, whoever loses this match today is eliminated from the tournament.
They are eliminated.
But not from our hearts.
And not from our minds. I will remember them forever. In the heart of my bottom. Oof. Yeah. Getting some non-ideal runes, but at least both of them are. I think we're looking at our first one-room gap. This might be the widest our gap has been. Ooh, man, OnTheLuce getting some bad luck with that Banshee head right there.
Yeah, at the moment the gap is actually one full room.
Imagine 42 in chat serenading us with who? I think it's Sheryl Crow.
That is Sarah McLachlan.
Sarah McLachlan, I should have known that. All I can think of is like dying in pained dogs when I hear that song now. It makes me sad. I know a song's supposed to make me sad, but it makes me sad in the wrong way.
And I actually think that's not even that song in the commercial. It's Arms of the Angels.
You're right. Well, it might be both. I hear any song by her now, and I just think that's the problem. Her brand is now dying dogs. That's her brand. And she did that.
She believes strongly enough in the cause, then she's done the right thing.
Oh man, OP
haven't
getting
seen
a
a lot of
double
new
goop
albums.
rune. Can't be happy about that at this stage.
Well, can anything slow him down at this point other than a colossal error? Like even a subpar or a suboptimal room.
I think we're talking more about what can he do to speed up though.
OP?
I mean, I'd say OP is not likely to get another rune before his run ends, having gotten one just 2 rooms before Billiam.
Sure.
OnTheLuce hasn't had one in about 2 rooms now. There's a chance he gets a rune before it's all over, and if it's a good one, that could save him a fair bit of time.
So is it possible this match will be decided by whatever rune shows up in OnTheLuce's
It is going to be decided
game?
by a great deal of history and success in the run prior.
Elric M with a good point in chat. Billiam control anyone, so
Billiam,
regardless
yes.
who gets to him first, he might just disappear on you.
Definitely. Billiam has a move he will use just one time, wherein he will
Got
actually... Oh,
extra
OnTheLuce
combo.
getting his extra combo.
Kind of a push.
Yup. But yeah, Billiam will disappear for 20 seconds at one point during the fight. It's worth noting that he cannot use that ability until he's at least 25% injured. And once he's half injured, he's actually much more likely to use it, but will only ever use it once. So if you're saving a magic, it can be the right move to wait until he's used it one time, because he'll never use it again. Both in the room just prior to Billiam. This is anybody's race. A trolley Billiam or a misused magic. Worth saying, Overpowered is 1 room ahead, so he might have
Billiam.
It's his race to lose at this point.
Opening on Billiam with the fire ring and
Doing a
well, now
lot
it's
of
a time
damage.
count. Wow.
We might be 30 seconds away from a win.
Oh wow, that's an incredibly strong start to Billiam. As long as Overpowdered remembers to kill the enemies, I think he's got
Yep.
this.
I don't think we're gonna see any competitors let their combo drop from this point on in the tournament.
I'm
At
not
least
sure.
not for any meaningful length of time. OP is doing exactly what he needs to maintain his level, letting his combo drop, picking it back up right when it drops, and just kind of racing it back and forth.
OnTheLuce now starting on Billiam. Let's see how he opens. He's
Choosing
gonna
the same
drop
opening,
his
coming
fire
in there
staff
strong with the fire
and
staff.
the gun. And
OP
he's
going
starting
through his
at level 10.
20-second break right now. We'll see what... It is possible to kill... Oh! OnTheLuce deciding not to hug for a little bit of the time with that flame staff, sacrificing some possible damage.
My god, this is really close. I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do.
Billiam will not teleport away while he's in the middle of using his laser eyes. Ooh!
Oh, okay.
OP.
Overpowdered with the win.
OP with the win by I gotta say, by moments.
Wow.
But definitely, if you can get a hammer while Billiam is doing his laser eyes, you can actually kill him before he disappears. If you can pile a ton of damage while he's unable to teleport.
Wow.
OP getting that personal best depth 5 to close out his victory over OnTheLuce. OnTheLuce putting on a really good show, though.
Yeah, and you know, Billiam disappeared on him. Not really
Oof, Billiam
fair
down for
there,
OnTheLuce.
but Billiam's down. So
1
they're-
room gap at the most.
I think they were 40 seconds apart or 30.
Yep. Good
That was
game to both
crazy.
competitors. That was amazing.
Let's give him a call.
Did you give them both a call?
Yep.
Say hello and howdy.
That was really good.
Alright. Let's make some calls happen.
Dark Horse pulled it out. Again.
Which one of them is the horse?
Hello.
Why, hello!
Hello, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, that was an amazing race.
Hello.
So close the entire way through.
So, do you guys not know who won yet?
No, my chat told me.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah,
Overpowdered
Overpowdered
LOL
did win.
won maybe by 30 seconds or
Jeez.
Oh,
less.
jeez.
It was super
the
close. You
closest
guys were
race
always
we've
in the
had.
same room.
Oh, that's crazy.
that was
Yeah,
that
William
was
disappeared on me, and I was like, it's over.
He was gone from me for the longest time.
He did for OP too.
The
OP
longest
still
time.
disappeared, and I was watching it. I was like, "This is the comeback. This is where it all comes."
Oh
back.
my god. Mine was gone for so long. So what was all about that ass kicking?
What?
We were talking
Oh
about
no!
in the
Right?
beginning.
Someone else got their ass kicked.
What was all that ass kicking?
I have short-term memory loss, okay? I don't remember any of this.
It's okay.
No, but it was fun. It was so much fun.
That was fun. This was a fun game.
That was awesome. That was really good on both parts. I promise we won't teleport anyone's foot off. Would that be worse than getting your butt kicked? Is getting your foot teleported off?
Get my foot teleported off.
Yeah. I'd rather get my butt kicked.
Jesus.
God.
So apparently in Death 1, I got the second best time. That was
did
pretty.
you?
Yeah. I am 10 seconds away from the best time. That's pretty funny.
Awesome. Holy crap.
Wow, you were super speedy. I got a new time on mine, too, and I thought I was going fast.
You were
That was-
both going very
Well,
fast.
So for the first 4 depths, we had a different leader every single boss complete. It was back and forth the entire time. There was no meaningful gap at all until like the latter half of depth 5.
Yeah, I'm so bad with depth 5. I'm
It
not
didn't
gonna
look
lie.
that way.
Ugh.
Oh, no. Well,
You're a pack.
So on the loose, you are the first person to be eliminated from the not winners bracket.
putting
Not
engraved
winners.
permanently in my heart.
You won first in something. There you
Yes!
go. There you go. I was first.
Loser.
I win.
Face.
The best around.
I win.
How has the wiener experience been for you? And are you looking forward to the next wiener tournament starting immediately after this
Right
one?
now, no.
Right now, oh my gosh.
Go!
I am so ready for the next one. I'm gonna keep playing. This is a fun game to kind of race people against with.
Awesome.
I can't wait to maybe race the devs one day.
We can definitely do
Ooh, look at
that. I'm
that.
really down for that. Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
We might also get into some form of competition for survival mode. Haven't talked about it yet, but it's a possibility.
Sure.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
So, on the loose, unfortunately eliminated for this time for now. Overpowdered, moving on to the next round 3. Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
How you feeling, Overpowdered?
I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world.
Nice.